Hello Year 4 and welcome to week 5 topic lessons which I'll be leading this week, and our focus is music and drama, and today we're going to be learning about how to create a script for a play. So pause the video to write your LO down and then press play when you're ready to continue. Let's get started. So the first thing I'd like us to do is to think about the stories that we already know about King Arthur. So think about our reading lessons and all the stories that we've heard about so far. Pause the video, have a think about the stories that you already know about King Arthur, and you might want to use the images I've put on the screen to help you. Okay, so here are some of the stories that we've heard about so far. We have heard about the first story in the King Arthur book about how Arthur pulled the sword from the stone completely innocently. We've also heard the story about how he got the sword Excalibur from the Lady in the Lake, and we've also heard the story about the Sable Knight and how he injured King Arthur. So this week we're going to be picking one of these stories and we're going to be doing some drama today, and then we're also going to be writing a script. So let's think about some drama first. So what I'd like you to do is have a look in your house for some objects that you could create some drama with. So you might have some Lego characters, you might have some dolls or some teddies. You might have to, if you've got nothing at all, then you might have to make some paper dolls that you can do some drama with. They don't have to look like our characters from the story, we just can pretend. So pause the video, go and find some objects that you could create some drama with. The smaller the better. Okay, so hopefully you've got some figures now that you can use in your drama, and we're going to be focusing on the first story from King Arthur. Okay, so we're not thinking about the prologue where we got the background story about King of the Pendragon. We're thinking about how we find out that Arthur is the true King of Britain. Pause the video and think back through that story. You might want to write some notes in your book about the key events that happen in that first story. Press play when you're ready to continue. Let's go through the key events from that first story. So Arthur arrives at the contest with Sir Ector and Sir Kay. So remember, at this point, Sir Ector we think is Arthur thinks is his real dad, and Sir Kay we think is his real brother. So Sir Kay is doing really well in the contest, but then things start to take a turn and he breaks his sword, and he asks Arthur to go and get him a new one. So Arthur then innocently pulls the sword from the stone. Sir Kay pretends that he pulled the sword and not Arthur, and then finally Arthur is found to be the true king. So we're going to use this basis to do some drama about this first story. So what I'd like you to do is I'm going to leave this up on the screen, the key events. I'd like you to pause the video using your characters. So you need 3. You need Arthur, Sir Ector and Sir Kay. I'd like you to pause the video and I'd like you to act out this scene, this story with your figures, and then press play when you're ready to carry on. Okay, so I hope you had some fun acting that part out now, and I hope you've been reminded of some of the key events of that story, and you're going to be using some of the drama that you've just done to help you to write a script. So first of all, let's have a think about the features of a script. Every script starts with a character list. Now actually, before we start thinking about the features of the script, we need to think about what a script is. So you've just been doing some acting with your figures. Now, if you were going to perform that to somebody, you might want to write down what the characters are saying to learn off by heart so that you can perform it and you can practice it and you make sure it's the best performance. So a script is what the characters are saying and what the characters are doing in a play, so that they can so that actors can perform it. So that's what we're going to be creating today. So it's kind of a story, but it's set out slightly differently to make it easier for the actors to read and to know what they're doing. So at the start of a script, there's a character list. So here's an example of a character list for our story. So I've got my subtitle, characters, Arthur, and then I've got a colon here and then I've got a little description about who the character is. So I've said Arthur, the main character, a young boy who is the true king of Britain. So it's a little description of who he is. Next I've got Sir Ector, and then I've got a colon again, Arthur's adopted father, and then Sir Kay, Sir Ector's son, Arthur's stepbrother. So we've got the characters and a little description about who they are. Why do you think there is a character list at the start of a script? Have a think. Why do you think? Well, a character list makes it really easy to know exactly who is in the play. So for example, if you needed to get some figures to act it out, or you wanted some actors to act it out, then you know exactly how many people you need and who they are. So in your book, can you create your character list for this story? Press play when you're ready to carry on. Okay, so now you should have your character list at the top of your page. So the next thing we're going to be thinking about is the start of our scene. Now, a scene in a script is really, it's kind of like the chapters. So you know that in a book there are different chapters of a story. Well, the scenes are that in a play, and it usually signifies the change of a setting. So here I've got scene 1, and I've got a little title. So it's the start of the contest, and then I've got a little description. So Sir Kay starts the contest. So you can see here, a bit like chapters, scripts broken down into scenes, and a new scene usually means a new setting. And I've also got a short description of the setting. So you could also add Sir Kay starts the contest in front of the castle with all the other knights, surrounded by tents. So that's the start of your script. So next, I'd like you to write the scene number, scene 1, the title of your first scene, so a little description, and a little description underneath about what's going to be happening in the scene. It should be really short, just a sentence long. Pause the video to do this and then press play when you're ready to continue. Okay, so hopefully you've now got the title, the scene number, the title and the short description of our first scene ready to go. So the next thing we're going to be thinking about is how we set out the rest of our script. So we need stage directions. So can you see Sir Kay here? This is an example of what I might write in the script. Sir Kay, and I've got a colon here. Then I've got brackets, and in a different colour I've said, breathing heavily whilst holding his shield up for protection. Quick, Arthur, get I need another sword. That doesn't make sense. Get me another sword, or I need another sword. That's just a typo there. So when Sir Kay says this, he wouldn't say the whole thing. He doesn't say, Sir Kay, breathing heavily whilst holding his shield up for protection. Quick, Arthur, get me another sword. He doesn't say that. He just knows. So Sir Kay shows who's talking. These instructions in brackets are just how he does it, so how he's reading it, or what he's doing as he reads it. And then the rest of it is what he says. So he'll be breathing heavily whilst holding his shield up for protection. Quick, Arthur, get me another sword. So you can see the brackets are instructions. Oh, and we've got the name of our actor here, and then we've got what they say afterwards. You might also want to include a narrator. So the narrator helps you to set the scene for the audience. So the narrator would say, Sir Kay has started a contest with a brave knight. So far, Kay has been performing well. However, he has become too confident. And then you can see I've also got some stage instructions here. So whilst the narrator's saying that, Sir Kay is fighting with a large knight and is struggling to keep up. So we know exactly what's going to be happening whilst the narrator is talking. So your turn now to write your script using the features that we've discussed. So you need to make sure that you've got your scene number and title. You've got your speaker name followed by a colon. You've got stage directions in brackets saying what the characters are doing, and then you're going to have speech that what the characters are saying, but you're not going to use inverted commas, you're just going to be using their name with a colon. So then it should look like a list of instructions and what the characters are saying. Pause the video to write your script and then press play when you're ready to continue. Okay, so I hope you've managed to write some of your script. If you'd like to, you could do some different scenes. So the next scene would be then when Arthur goes and gets the sword, because you're moving to a different setting. And then you could even go on to the contest where Arthur shows everybody that he can pull the sword from the stone. Once you've finished, I'd like you to self-assess your work. So have you got scene numbers with a title? Have you got the speaker's name followed by a colon? Have you got stage directions in brackets? Have you got speech without inverted commas? Well done today, and I'll see you in the next lesson.